so long is like alchemy.
All right, I picked things up here at the 8-minute mark because OKC and the Pelicans stretched out here in the first game on ESPN. The Clay up, and then you're going to see Ibaka come down and hit a buttery jumper. Serge Ibaka is going to make an all-star game. I mean, I haven't looked at the list of forwards, but at this point, he deserves it. He has been probably their second-best player. Now, that's a weak call, and Draymond gets teed up. They're going to call him for the elbow swing, but Lowry kind of pulled the carpet on him, and so the elbow looked a lot more aggressive than it really was. So Draymond takes a seat with a quick early 2 fouls, and that hurt us. Toronto, coming off a win in Los Angeles the night before, still looked like the fresher team. You see them winning the 50-50 balls, and their energy and attention to detail was really just superior. Now, I don't know why, but Jordan Bell, I almost feel like he's left-handed. Like his shot, it almost looks like, I wouldn't be surprised if he did some things left-handed. And there's the See a Ghost coach next to Nurse. Every time I see that brother, he looks terrified. He's like, listen, y'all better win. Obviously, no Kawhi. Van Vliet got the start, and he bothered the hell out of Steph. We know the little strong fire hydrant type guards can bother Steph. Created turnovers and just destroyed us in different pick and rolls. And then here's the soft double team on Ibaka. Well, I guess he finally came over, right? Late rotation from KD results in the 3-ball from Van Vliet. Lowry, though, was dominant, honestly. He had his imprint all over this game, and it's interesting with Kawhi missing these 2 games with the right hip or whatever it may be. Lowry refinding his swag because he's really been struggling playing second fiddle to the new ball-dominant Kawhi. KD, little mid-range jumper, but their length and physicality and their execution, I can't stress that enough, how well they followed their scouting report. Look at them hound Steph, cross-court pass, Clay, nice little wait and go, and then finishes on the other side, trying to avoid all these lanky shot blockers on this Raptors team. Watch them make the extra pass. Oh, there's baby hands. Had to point that out. You know I did. Extra pass, Steph. And it was just one of them days. Steph could not find a rhythm. Look at Toronto push it right down our throats. Siakam in transition, shining. I think they knew going in that Van Vliet was going to be digging into Steph, and so they took him off ball, and it was KD initiating most of the offense with Draymond saddled with 2 fouls. You see Jerebko knock down the 3-ball, but their athleticism really showed. Anunoby, Siakam, right? They're just much more athletic than us. And then they were playing with more energy, and so to combine that was a dangerous thing. You see Danny Green having to change his stirrups. Here was something weird. Watch Looney. Looney almost never does that. Watch him attack the ball handler. You see how he jumped up and showed at Lowry, and Lowry just hezzied right by him? I guess he was worried about giving up the 3, but that was very un-Looney-like as we got destroyed in the pick and roll. And then after missing a free throw and an offensive rebound, the lob to the big Viking, and it really just felt like we couldn't stop them no matter where they chose to attack. KD to the cup and Looney with the putback. But this is a tough matchup for Looney because he's not athletic enough when they go small, and then he's not big enough when Valanciunas is in there. So I think he struggled to find his place on the floor. More pick and roll action and more Lowry just picking us apart. It's kind of cool to watch because he's not doing it with physical attributes. He never has, but his mind for the game is very strong. Quinn Cook got some minutes and knocked down a couple jumpers. I was surprised to see him, honestly, in this matchup, but no Iguodala once again. Now, I'm going to hold it here. And hindsight is 20/20, but I think we needed to let Lowry score more. We were giving him too much respect as a scorer. I'd like to see Lowry drop 40 in the win, but he likes to assist and dish, and he continued to feed his big men, and they ate us up in that pick and roll action. With Draymond back, Curry, you know he loves this Draymond Clay second unit. That's a high-risk, high-reward pass. Clay gets it done, and then
so y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband.
Because no one should have to see this. He is now at 20% on the season, but still attempting over 2 a game. He gets back and gets the block. You want that big bag, Dre? Lock yourself in a gym this summer and just shoot top of the corner 3s all day long. And look at Siakam. That's the Siakam effect. Kawhi wasn't there, but this kid is catching up defensively. His speed and length and aggression, his presence, throws guys off in the paint. There's Clay off the curl, knocking it down. And then Draymond laying the hammer on Valanciunas, and that's nasty because this dude's tough. So when he acted like that, I almost didn't want to look. I thought we were going to see a bone sticking out or something. Apparently, a dislocated thumb. Those of you that have just jammed your thumb know how painful that is. So Valanciunas left the game and would not return. Kept waiting for Steph to get going here. Here's a run-out 3-ball, but just 1 of 2 he made all night long. 3 of 12. And it's his worst offensive output since Game 3 of the Finals. Quinn, the bailout jumper. And will he get the time with S. Dot and what happened to him and Iguodala chipped up, or will it be perhaps Damian Lee or more McKinney? And this is going to be the question in the playoffs for the Raptors. They're going to leave OG and Siakam in the corners, and if they're hitting the 3-ball, they're going to be devastating. Now watch Quinn on this pick and roll action here. He's just of no help in any way, right? He's not long enough to recover. He doesn't put a body on Ibaka, so maybe he won't get many minutes. It'll probably just be matchup determined and dynamic like we see most of the time as they continue to hound us in the paint. Now it's Steph in the pick and roll fighting over and Van Vliet getting it to Ibaka. If it makes you feel any better, he did the same thing to the Lakers a few weeks ago, absolutely destroying them for 34 points. KD started to get frustrated, I think, with the way things were going and started to force things. Van Vliet picks his pocket. Good hustle from Jerebko getting back. But the effort level, like, it wasn't terrible. I think it was just that the Raptors' effort level was so high. Tough pull-up from K. And then rhythm's a funny thing. Watch, Lowry knew he was going to launch this before Van Vliet even had the ball. The little hop in Livingston, it was too late at that point when you let a guy get comfortable and make his mind up. I want to give Toronto credit for their defense and execution, but we also just weren't making shots that we should make. So it was a perfect storm of things, and then they were pushing the ball, the pace, and you could see guys starting to get discouraged, especially Steph as the game went on. So Slim decides to slam on Serge. And that was a legit body, y'all, because a lot of the time you sneak dunk a guy, right? You get there quicker. They're not there. They're coming from the weak side. No, Serge knew he was coming. He went right over the top and diddy-bopped on his former teammate. This was coaching here. Nick Nurse attacking Steph on the defensive end, and credit to him for giving Danny Green the opportunity to show his postgame, right? But I thought that added to Steph kind of hanging his head and his low confidence in this one. To open up the third, there's the mid-range pulley, and you're like, all right, maybe we'll get something going here. But then they go right back at Steph on this end. Danny Green with a horse-like shot, right? That's a trick shot. You couldn't recreate that if you tried. Van Gundy spoke about this, and Mark, and they're dead on. If Draymond's not going to be able to space the floor, he's got a big boy guards in the paint. Otherwise, we're playing 4-on-5 on that end. More execution. Clay goes over the screen. This time, Looney stays on Ibaka. Van Vliet knew they were going to stay with Ibaka because he was hot, so he knew he was wide open for the 3 baseline drive. How many dunks did this dude have? I'm tired of saying his name in this damn highlight. More turnovers. Draymond just being super predictable. Again, once again, the defense not having to play honestly because they know he's not going to pump that shot. Steph this time. There was plenty of blame to go around, y'all, and I hate to be negative, but hey, this was a negative performance, right? But at this point, I respect our explosion at home, so I thought we still had a chance, and I thought this was the play. Steph gets the rip on Siakam, trots into the 3-ball. Here we go, some momentum, more life. No, sir, not tonight. Now, I'm going to harp on the spacing again. Just take a look at Looney and how he's being guarded. And it's magnified when you're dealing with a good defensive team with length and recoverability like Toronto, right? So look at this. It's insane. There's some horseplay on the baseline from Danny Green. Clay gets free and knocks the curl down. But the spacing was a huge issue in our half-court sets. Hopefully, Boogie can be a pressure valve when he gets back. Looney, gapping, doing what he does, gets a finger on it. And we go out in transition. Steph, another opportunity. Nope. Good closeout. And then you can read the body language. He just started standing around. And I think this is when Durant was like, all right, I'm going to let things go now. I see Steph doesn't have it. Let me see if I can find it here and carry us. He bangs the 3 down. Nick Nurse, quick timeout. He didn't want the snowball effect at Oracle. I was talking about it on the pod and the defensive front court. Now, obviously, they didn't have Kawhi, but Siakam and Ibaka at the rim, that's problematic for anybody. I don't care if you're Anthony Davis, right? And then can we acknowledge something without people getting butthurt? Let's acknowledge when Steph is really struggling from the field, it affects his defense. It's just a part of his game. And it's almost like nature equaling its way out, right? Because he can be so devastating when he's going, it's almost fair that he's not good when he's not going. Durant, like I said, I think tried to shoulder the load here. More Danny Green. And I didn't know he had where the drop step and all this stuff. So that didn't help. Durant, like I said, picked up the load here, and you thought, okay, if he could get hot, but could we? It just never felt like we could get stopped. So even though Durant caught fire here at the end of the third, it just didn't feel like we had the possibility of coming back because we couldn't get stops on the other end. But he finished with 30, but he had some bad turnovers too, 5 of them himself, just trying to force the issue, really. And then this was a play where it was scary. I thought it was on the come down, and he's grabbing his elbow, but it looks like he hit his elbow or his forearm on the backboard on the extension. He held that the rest of the night, but did not take a seat. I didn't even see the staff looking at him. Here's one of them, and I'm impressed with just the IQ of Toronto's defense, right? And you're going to see OG get called for the offensive foul, And Anunoby's a rugged system, man. So, that looked like it hurt. All of a sudden, Durant's getting chipped up left and right. We're getting our teeth kicked in at home, and I just wanted the game to be over. But back to Toronto's defense, not only are they long and athletic, they're smart, and they know what's going on. They make the right reads. KD right back with the hammer, though. I was impressed with his toughness. He was getting chipped up. It was ugly, right? And then I watched Bell. Bell following KD's lead. Have we ever seen him attack the basket that aggressive this season? I don't think so. So Bell feeding off KD's aggression and frustration, trying to rally the troops. Look at him pick up the defense. And there were some stops here and there. And once again, I know I keep saying credit Toronto, but like I said, the effort wasn't bad. It was Toronto's effort was excellent, just like the night before in Los Angeles, another one. And it's just being smart, right? Van Vliet understands KD is trying to take over this game, so he completely sells out, goes coast to coast for the finish. Now Durant adjusts, understanding they're going to send a hard trap, dumps to McKinney, who gets the and one. And if I have a complaint about the rotations, it's that McKinney didn't get enough minutes. I thought this was a McKinney game, considering their athletes. Klay needs to understand, look, Jerebko wants the three. Watch Klay lead him with that pass to the rim. And that's the second or third time in a week he's got an offensive foul because guys are leading him to the rim. He wants to shoot the three, okay? And apparently so does Lowry on this night. I had talked pregame about his struggles. That's the alchemy jinx. Here we are, fourth quarter, and we never got back in it, y'all. This time CJ Miles, the lefty, bang. Now, at this point, I know who Kerr is, and I tweeted out I was complaining that the 4 All-Stars were in the game at this point. And then Sean goes down. Thankfully, it wasn't one of the 4 All-Stars, but Sean with a right hip contusion. You can expect him to miss some time, right? And this is Kerr's DNA. We know he plays his guys. Obviously, I'm not a fan of it, and I continue to voice that, but it'll be interesting to see. You've got the 2 vet guards chipped up now moving forward, how they replace those minutes. Will we see some Jacob Evans? It'll probably be Quinn Cook and McKinney getting the brunt of those minutes. But Steph, a 3 of 12 performance, you can expect him to explode Friday on the road in Sacramento. And I realize this highlight's a bit short, but you got to treat it like a Band-Aid and just rip the shit off quick, right? Because we don't want to dwell on it. Keep it moving on to the next one. I'm out, y'all.
I've been winning so long, it's like alchemy.